All right. So what's on Kelly Slater's agenda coming up? Because
Agenda. I'm in Australia. Kalani's in the last trimester. We're gonna have the baby in Hawaii. Got another couple weeks here. Might try to fit some Fiji in between here and getting back to the States. I got the wild card for Chopo, so I love my Chopo.
so you're back in. You're out, but you're in.
Exactly. Look, I mean, for years I've been saying if I was guaranteed wild cards to pipe Chopo and Cloudbreak, and Cloudbreak was still on tour then, which it's back on tour now, but I probably would have checked out a couple years ago. But it was just that Olympic hope, trying to figure out if I could get back in there. But my motivation, my desire, my longing for competition and winning has since waned a lot. Yeah. So you make your own luck, and when you're competing at the highest level, you can make those wins happen in tough conditions or on days you don't want to be out there and that kind of stuff. And I haven't been making that happen, and that's fine. It's I had so many wins that probably shouldn't have happened, but I forced it and somehow made it happen. But when you're, I guess the thing is, like, when I was 20, 21, growing up without any money, and like, I mean, we were lucky we had a roof over our head, and our parents really supported me and Sean traveling around the world surfing. But we just, it was on a shoestring budget, and then I basically was in debt when I was like 22 years old. And at that time, it seemed to me, I mean, the reason I say that is because it just sets a context for me, because I felt like winning was like life and death for me at the time, Like, it really felt like this is my one chance in life to do something for myself, for my future. And that's why winning was such a dominant factor in my life. Every day I woke up, went to bed thinking about it, how to improve my game, because I wanted that success and the things that come with it. So, when you feel in your mind like your life depends on it, you figure it out. And that's one part of any person's evolution, I guess.
Yes.
But it doesn't feel that way now. I do like to win. I love to win. It's fun. And if you put in a great performance, there's nothing that feels better than being at the top at the end of that competition. But the way, for me, it's like things got to line up for me to really have that same desire and that same grit. And so, there's certain waves that offer that more often. Like, obviously, we hope that Pipeline lines up every year, but there's a lot of years where it's not very good. But Chopo usually has a pretty good wave, and Cloudbreak almost always has a good wave. So those are waves I still froth over, and hopefully I get a chance to surf them a couple more times competitively. But other than that, here and there I'll do a contest for fun. Maybe I'll start surfing in the club events, go back amateur.
Nice.
Work my way back down the ladder.
So tell me this, because I know everybody has a different idea, and we've all seen your career and everything you've done. But in your eyes, what do you think is your greatest success in your life? Like what made you feel the most accomplishment? Was it like something in the NSSA, or was it winning pipe at almost 50, or was it, because everybody has a different idea of what they think of success. But like, to you, what was your greatest moment or your greatest attribute to what you've done in your life or surfing?
I would say I've almost bookended it. There's two moments that just stand out to me, and one was when I was 12 years old. I won a contest in Jacksonville Beach. It was a super heat. Remember the old super heats where all the winners had one heat against each other? I won a super heat against Bill Johnson, and I forget who all was in there, but it was all the best guys from Florida and the East Coast that would come surf this one event. It was the Hart's birthday bash, and it was around October sometime, I think. And I was 12 years old and I was not supposed to win. I probably should have got third, on paper. And I won the event, and first place was a round trip ticket to Hawaii. And that was the year I won the U.S. Championships at Makaha. But we weren't planning on going to Hawaii. Sean and I weren't planning on going to Hawaii. My parents couldn't afford it. And I won that contest, and that was the only thing that gave me that opportunity. And I was able to go to Hawaii and win the U.S. Championships as a menehune at 12. And that's where I met like Shane, Dorian, and that whole, I mean.
I remember, I was there, I met Brian Pacheco, and I remember Bird, I think Bird had his silver cast on. You remember that?
Yeah. Well, that was basically when I met all my friends for life, like Brock and Chester and Chewy Reyna and like just Dave Eggers and Sonny, obviously. I believe Archie was in that event. So that, to me, that was like that moment going to Makaha for the US Amateur Champs back then was like the biggest thing. But getting back to your question, winning that contest in Jacksonville, I remember coming in, I remember winning it, and I just fucking started crying, dude. I couldn't hold the emotion in. I was so excited. Like, even thinking about it now almost makes me want to cry again, because it was like the most incredible feeling I ever had. And I realized I'm going to Hawaii. I couldn't believe I was going to Hawaii, because it was the only way I was going to get there. And so my parents scraped together enough money for Sean to get a ticket too. So that both of us went, and we flew there, picked us up. We stayed at Mark Foo's for a week, and then we stayed over with Tony Sutton and his dad for a week, because they lived near Eva, on the Air Force Base, and they would take us up to the contest. So the first week we were checking out pipe and all that and getting to watch what was going on. And the second week we started the U.S. Amateurs, and Matt and Kegley had gone back to Florida. So funny side story is, obviously that's when I met Mark Fu the first time. And Fu's spot to stay was like, I think it was $20 a night. It was $10 or $20 a night to sleep there. And Sean and I stayed, but we didn't have enough money. I think we had like maybe $200 between us for the 2 weeks to be in Hawaii for food and everything. And we didn't have any money for anywhere to stay. And so one night, it was like the last night, we were at Fu's house, and Sean overheard Mark Fu and his girlfriend having an argument about how much to charge us for rent, because she knew we didn't have any money, and Fu didn't care. So basically, if we paid rent, we weren't going to have literally any money left. And so she convinced Mark to only charge us. It worked out to be $2.50 a night total for the two of us to stay there. And so we paid like, what is that? It was like $20 for me and Sean to stay for a week at Fu's house. And I just remember feeling so... I remember feeling so insignificant that we didn't feel wanted, and we didn't feel welcome, and we couldn't pay our way. And so there were times like that in my life that really cemented in this desire to do so well and not have those stresses that we had as kids. And so winning the Hearts Birthday Bash in '84 was my first really great win in my life. I mean, I won the East Coast Championships a couple times before that already, but that was the one I remember just crying after. Like, I remember going back in the hotel room, laying in the bath, turning on the shower and plugging the bath, and just crying for like an hour, because I was just so happy, And
look, he's almost crying right now.
Weird. Yeah, it's so weird, man. It's like the happiest I've ever been. And it was like it was a real life-changing moment. And then winning pipe at 49 and 51 weeks. That was 5 days from my birthday, and that was just such a crazy one, because that heat with Barron, Barron's like the new charger at pipe, and he's so good, and he had me on the ropes, and then I had one hope, and I needed like an 8, and the wave comes, and I get it. And I knew in that moment, I'm like, you know what? I think I'm going to win this thing. because I've had a few magic moments like that at Cloudbreak and Tropo and different places over the years. And when something like that happens, where I have a really close one and something magic happens in the last minute, I almost always have come through and won the event. And so I just felt something special, and I knew I just had to just be present, just pay attention to all my little ticks and my little signs, and I felt really like in the moment that whole week, and yeah, I kind of saw it lining up, and I couldn't believe it was happening, and it was almost like watching. I almost felt like I was watching a movie of it happening, and it was just it was so special, you know. And in the time I knew it would probably be the last one I win, or you know, if not the last one, right close to it. But maybe it'll be the last one I ever win. I don't know.
Well, that was beautiful. How insane. I really like the heart contest. That's just too good. But I knew there was something.
It was called Heart too, Dave Hart. But you know, being the word heart, the thing really changed my life. And Pipeline, the number of people, like grown men I've had come up to me since then, Nathan, and be like, "Man, I cried when you won. That meant so much." And it felt like it meant a lot to a lot of people. And I think the good message there is that, you know, we all want people to like us. We all want to you know, feel that happiness from other people as well, and that support. And that one more than anything, all around the world since then for the last couple of years, I still have people every week come up and go, "Man, that just was incredible. I cried. I was so happy for you." So
Well, it gives a working man hope as well, you know, because a lot of people are like, "Oh, I'm this age. My life is like this." But like to see you do that, I feel like most people they can almost relate with that because you're just at the same level like in age and stuff. But then it was like just conquering huge. I mean, the Pipe Masters is the biggest, greatest contest on earth, and it has been in the craziest way. And like to accomplish that at an age that you did, and that's all. That's what I was saying too. Is like you growing up in Florida. And I just did a little thing prior to us talking, but I was just saying how when you were a kid and you would come to Trussell's and surf, and you would bring for your snack, you would have Cheese Whiz and Ritz crackers and surf for like 8 hours. And but I was
shit, man.
But it was like what made you and what drove you, like you were talking about, and then to see you now traveling with all your supplements and being on a full like other side of health. It's just pretty trippy, like I said, as a sideliner, just to watch the whole thing unfold and see where you're at. It's been a great honor